Hey, what's up everybody? This is T for TeePolgar, but you already know that, right? People ask, especially the ones who have language barrier or massive shyness regarding to speaking to other people, especially using a different language. So they have been wondering that how can you get along, how can you get away in a culture and experience the culture, local traditions if you don't speak the local language? Well, there are two really good things. First of all, learn an international language. I mean, talking about English, Spanish, Chinese, Russian, French in this case, and there you go, you're already sorted. Any of these 5 languages, most likely you can easily just get away and get around, traveling around the world, because one way or the other, these languages will be understood, right? To me, English, a little bit of Russian and a little bit of Spanish are already in the pocket, and that's more than enough. I lived 1 year in China, worked there, lived my life, traveled around without speaking the actual language. And you probably already know how many people speak English in China. Just because they are #1 in population, they are definitely number 100 fucking last in speaking English, based on my personal experience at least. And yet I could get away. How did I do that? Simply because I just kept pushing it. I was knocking on people's door until somebody was able to speak English to me, and at the end of the day, I just realized that body language is just working fine. That I'm able to explain whatever I want, simply using my limbs, my facial expression, my mimics, trying to express my emotions, whether it's a question, a statement, whether I'm wondering, whether I'm begging, whether I'm in help or I'm able to help. You know, it all depends on the situation. And the more you travel, the more you are exposed to uncertainty, the more you are in need of using your own body language, the better you become. I had no idea that I'm able to express myself. I was never practicing this. I was never studied it. I had no knowledge about it. But on the road, because it was like 100% practicality and applied practice even better, I was able to evolve rather quickly. And you don't need to spend time on YouTube videos, you don't need to read books, you don't need to do this, that. Just go out and do it. People will understand you, and every once in a while you will bump into people who are either fellow travelers, they will speak English and they will point you in the right direction or give you the information you are after, or you will meet locals speaking fluent English. I mean, it's not a miracle to speak English, it's just to speak a language, and people think that if you go to Laos and you don't speak the Laotian, then you're going to get screwed. No, this is further from truth. Laos, for example, even though it looks uncivilized and an underdeveloped country, people are speak rather decent English, definitely more than in China, definitely more than in Central Asia, you know, and this is easy. Of course, if you speak other than English, let's say Spanish, Russian, or Chinese, then there are certain areas in the world where you cannot really use that particular language. But then here comes the punchline. Use your body language, express yourself. And again, I have written a book on hitchhiking where I mentioned couchsurfing, as well as I was giving a full and thorough information on low-budget traveling, where I did spend some massive amount of time on couchsurfing as well. And here's another advice for you. Use couchsurfing. Subscribe to couchsurfing today. Get your profile sorted and start networking, start going for events, start socializing, because it's not only going to help you to improve socially or personally, but also it will give you the opportunity that once you start traveling, you crash at local space, those locals will be open-minded, that's why they are on couchsurfing, they will be into traveling, and that's the reason you are on the couchsurfing in the first place as well, so you have already a connection, something to talk about, right? So that's a huge icebreaker when you have something common up front and you know about it, so you can sort of get prepared what to and how to talk about. And then also that person most likely will speak not only in the local language, because presumably she is going to be local, but also a decent English. So not only going to be an intermediary between you and the locals, but also, since he's a local, he's going to show you little streets, the little restaurants, places what TripAdvisor and Lonely Planet will never ever mention. So I strongly advise you to don't use it as an excuse just because you don't speak the language. Don't use it as a cover just because you have never been there and you read somewhere on the internet that's a dangerous place, or that's a boring place, or that's a touristic place, that's expensive, that's cheap, that's boring, you name it. Go out and start doing it. I mean, how did you learn to walk? It was impossible in the first place. You kept on standing up, you kept on falling, but you did over and over again until you have reached to the point when you succeeded after trying again once more, then failing. Guys, thanks for tuning up. Check out the links below. They're going to be a huge help, such as couchsurfing and the hitchhiking book, as well as my Instagram profile. And share the love, share the knowledge, because people do need it. And you are, just like a couchsurfer can be and should be, the intermediary between me and the people out there who have never tried traveling before. Guys, you, with a little bit of me, are shaping society. Bye.